Hey everybody, I'm the Linux Gamer, and I just played Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords. It's a Western-style role-playing game developed by Obsidian Entertainment and published for Linux by Aspyr. Knights of the Old Republic 2 was released for Linux July 21st, 2015. This game is from my personal collection. In Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, which I'll refer to as KOTOR for the sake of brevity, you create your own character who engages with the narrative. The story of KOTOR 2 is set about 4,000 years before the events of the Darth Binks saga. 5 years have passed since the previous game's story. The Sith have all but destroyed the Jedi Order. You play as an exiled Jedi who fought in the Mandalorian Wars. The Sith pursue her, believing her to be the last Jedi left alive. From here, depending on which options you select at the beginning of the game and how you play, the story can branch out into multiple directions. Play it for yourself and make your own story. KOTOR 2 feels like a Star Wars game, albeit one with a dated graphical style. It doesn't look bad to me, just kinda old. My only complaints here being some unoriginality with droid naming conventions and character archetypes. I mean, T3M4? Come on. And Ebon Hawk? Wow, really guys? Oh yeah, and turbolifts. They never say turbolifts in Star Wars, but I find it quite tickling that Star Trek technology gets a nod here. KOTOR 2 is a tabletop RPG in software form. It plays exactly like D&D with a Star Wars coat of paint. This is not necessarily a problem for me. It can just sometimes be frustrating. The battles are completely based upon dice rolls and the skills you've given to your character. Sure, other games play the same way as well behind the scenes, but never have I played a more literal interpretation of a roll plus modifier pen and paper RPG. When you cross the line of sight of any enemy, the game will automatically pause to give you time to assess the situation. You can queue up attacks, switch characters and queue up some more, and then unpause and watch as the battle takes place. I find this method of playing the game to be pretty boring, actually. My biggest complaint about the battles is that no matter if you kill the enemy, hit an enemy, or miss, the same animation plays. And then you got your powers. You activate them by clicking on them in the HUD. That's how you use items, too. Click on them, and then click on a party member. It's a pretty slow process, and it's naturally mouse intensive. The majority of the game is dialogue. It's very speech heavy. All NPCs have voice acting, but some aliens and many droids speak unintelligible gibberish, often repeating the same phrases. There's so many layers to dialogue as well. I mean, the trees sprawl out almost infinitely, trying to emulate the infinite possibilities of a tabletop RPG. I find the biggest problem with KOTOR 2 is the lack of progression. It feels like a fetch quest. I spent almost 7 hours in the opening space station, trying in vain to find my way to the next objective. There's little information present on the map to help you. Leveling up also feels pretty mundane. You hear a little sound effect play, and then there's an icon over your portrait. And then you can have the game automatically increase your stats for you. Woohoo! I know this game was developed by Obsidian, but its predecessor, the original Knights of the Old Republic, was made by BioWare. Even here in KOTOR 2, I can distinctly see elements of BioWare's future title Mass Effect. And that's pretty cool. The controls of KOTOR 2 are by far the most peculiar part of KOTOR 2. Movement is weird. Looking around is weird. Attacking is weird. Everything about this game is weird. Not bad, mind you, just weird. I played with a keyboard and mouse for this game. You use the cursor to select power-ups, interact with objects, and just about everything else. So in order to adjust the camera, because it doesn't do it for you, you've got to hold down the right mouse button and move the mouse. Moving your character is strange too. By default, W and S move your character forward and backwards, but A and D turn your character rather than strafe. Space will pause or unpause the game in a tactical mode, which I find has limited usage. The game plays at full speed with no slowdowns or stuttering. This version of the game is far more stable than the original release I played way back in the early aughts. With the right controller config, you can play KOTOR 2 with a Steam controller. Mind you, I didn't find the right one. Perhaps the right pad could be camera controls and the left pad could be mouse controls, giving you the best of both worlds, but I didn't have time to mess with it. I feel like I've been kinda down on this, so don't misunderstand any of my criticism. I love and really enjoy KOTOR 2. It's pretty fun, even if it feels unpolished. Star Wars has a special place in my heart, as does tabletop RPGs, and the story here is great, and there's a ton of nostalgic value. If you want to hear more about that, check out my collaboration I did with JakeJW93 over on his channel. His video should be coming out pretty soon. If you love Star Wars, old games and tabletop RPGs, you should check out Knights of the Old Republic 2. It's available for Linux through Steam. Link in the description. Have you played Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2? What do you think of it? Be sure to leave me a comment and let me know what you think, or tweet at me at @TheLinuxGamer. You can also support the channel over on Patreon. Feel free to check out the rest of my channel, including my previous most anticipated games of 2016. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and share it with your friends, and make sure you subscribe to see more from me, the Linux Gamer. Thanks for watching.